Community voice.
Hi, I'm Katie Roche, host of The Notable Nonprofit, and I'm sitting down today with Abby Ballain, who's the Executive Director for the Iowa Cultural Corridor Alliance. Welcome.
Thank you.
So I'm very familiar with the Iowa Cultural Corridor Alliance, ICA, as are most of our viewers. We used to have Joe Jennison on quite often, and you're the new director, and you came on sometime last summer?
Yes, I came on in August.
And now, are you new to the Iowa City area as well?
I am new to Iowa City. I moved in late July from Madison, Wisconsin, where I'd been for the past 4 years, but I'm originally from a little town in Iowa called Shenandoah, so I'm happy to be back home.
Great.
Yeah.
Now, how are you adjusting to the community? There's so much to do and so much to see, and this job you're a great ambassador for that.
Well, I'll tell you that I'm never bored. One thing with my position that is great is that I get to bring my two loves, which are arts and business, together. And so I'm doing my business thing and I'm going out and promoting arts and culture, but then that's also what I love. And so I definitely have time to go and do both of those things, and I guess just a wonderful fit for me.
Now, for the folks that aren't familiar with the Iowa Cultural Corridor Alliance, it's a blanket organization that encompasses how many member organizations?
Sure, we have over 150 arts and cultural partners. That includes both for-profit and nonprofit organizations. And we cover an 11-county area. So that's Lynn and Johnson counties, and then the 9 adjacent counties as well.
Wow, so anybody who says that there's nothing happening in this area just needs to go to the Cultural Corridor website.
That's correct. They need to go to culturalcorridor.org. We've got over 3,000 events listed right now for our arts and culture partners, over 150 of those. So there's definitely a lot to do in the corridor.
Well, I remember when they were first talking about putting this organization together, and I thought, what a great idea, because one of the things with arts and cultural nonprofits and organizations is that there's a lot of repetition of resources that people are using, so especially with marketing. Mm-hmm. It's really wonderful to have one website where you can go to and you can find out everything that's going on. And I use it all the time because it's really easy to search. Mm-hmm. I have a little one, and I'll say, oh gosh, we have to get out of the house today. Mm-hmm. and go do something, and I'll search up the weekend and inevitably find something great to do in a short drive or just around the corner.
Right, there's always something going on in the corridor, that's what I say. And with our website, it's very easy to use, like you were saying. You can search by categories, so if you're looking for children's events, we have that. If you enjoy theater or museums. And then also, I love using the date range function, because when my family comes into town on the weekends, or if I have friends visiting, I would say, okay, I know that they might like this specific type of art and culture, but then also these dates, and so I can easily whittle down what we're gonna do.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about the ICKY Awards.
Sure.
And you have to remind me, it's ICKY, but what does it mean again?
Sure, so the ICKY honors are like the Emmys, but for the corridor. And so many people think, well, ICKY, what does that stand for? And they try to come up with something. And that's what I did when I first came here. I was like, what does that acronym stand for? And it doesn't stand for anything. It's just, it's our version of the Emmys. And so ICKY is kind of like ICA, but then also it just kind of goes to show, we like to have fun.
Yeah.
And so
it's a funny name. It's a good name.
It's not a serious event, but it's very exciting. It's a day where we get to, it's actually an evening where we get to honor excellence and innovation in programming for arts and culture organizations for 2010.
And I know that you also recognize anniversaries of member organizations. Mm-hmm. Riverside Theater is celebrating their 30th year this year.
Correct.
And that's just a really wonderful thing, because longevity in arts and culture is common, mm-hmm. but it's not always incredibly common, because mm-hmm. it's hard out there. I think we're going to see more longevity because of ICA over the years.
Well, that's what we're hoping for. ICA's mission is to promote the varied cultural events of our partner organizations, but also to nurture this sustainable cultural community. So making sure there's always somebody at the table that's representing arts and culture, and that's what I try to do through my position, is just make sure that people are aware of all of what's going on in the area. But yes, we do have a lot of organizations that have been around for a great number of times, for a long time. Riverside Theater is one of those. At the ICKYs, we're going to be honoring 6 different organizations that are partners of ICA who have been around for anywhere from 5 years to over 100 years.
Oh, wow.
So we're really excited about that. The ICKIs are more than just an honors ceremony. We've got those performances and can just talk about the great things that are happening in the area.
Now, I've been to a couple of the award shows, and they really are like an Emmy. There's the red carpet walk and performances of member organizations. I think one of my favorite things I ever saw at one of them was the drill team from the Iowa City Senior Center performing the dance from Napoleon Dynamite. So we had all of these senior citizens doing that great dance for Napoleon Dynamite, and they were just a riot, and family performances and all sorts of things at the event, and then you get to see people win their awards, and it's just great fun.
It's a wonderful evening just to celebrate the dedication and the passion that people put forth in the arts and cultural sector. Many people think of arts and culture as quality of life, which it definitely elevates the quality of life in the corridor, but it also provides this wonderful economic impact for the area. So we did a study a few years ago with Americans for the Arts, and the arts and culture sector in the area generates about $64 million a year in economic impact, which is a great number to be able to share. But at the ICKIs, we talk about everything from that economic impact to that quality of life, and just have fun and just celebrate what we've been doing over the past year, and just look forward to the year that's ahead.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
So can you talk a little bit more about the ICKIs, what's actually happening at the event this year?
Sure. So as you alluded to, we do have our red carpet as you head into the event. So the event this year is on January 31, and it starts at 6:30 p.m. at the Englert. We go every other year between the north and the south ends of the corridor, and so last year we were up at Coe College, this year we're at the Englert. So the performances actually start at 6:30, and so you'll head in and go up through the red carpet. You can have your picture taken with one of our large ICKI statues. So we have both the small ones that we give out, and then we have a couple big ones. Tom Newport, who is an artist out of Cedar Rapids, does our design for our statues, and he's fabulous to work with. So we just love the design that he came up with for the ICKIs. So you'll head into the area. We'll have a couple of speeches. Schulte and Swan from Z102.9 will greet you. They're our MCs for this year. And then we'll do a little business, and then because it is our annual meeting, so we'll do a little business, but community members are more than welcome to join in for that. It doesn't take as long to do our business, and then we head into the fun stuff. So this year for performers, we're going to start out with the Chamber Singers of Iowa City, who are performing in honor of their 40th anniversary this year. So that's another big anniversary that's coming up. The City of Mount Vernon will also be coming. They're going to be doing a presentation on Chalk the Walk, which is their annual celebration in Mount Vernon.
I've yet to make it to that, and I want to go to that so badly.
I moved just after it ended up happening, so I haven't gotten to see it yet either, but I've seen these fantastic, beautiful photos of what's been done there. So they're going to be doing a montage of that, and they'll also have a vocalist singing from this last year. We'll have the International Academy for Russian Music, Arts, and Culture doing a presentation. They are a smaller group just getting off the ground, and they're doing wonderful work. I got to go to their 7-string guitar festival this year.
The Russian Guitar Festival.
Yes. Yes, it was wonderful. We will have the Mount Vernon Lisbon Community Theater Group coming in and doing a small theater snippet from one of their pieces from this past year. We will have the Saul Luberoff Quintet performing in honor of Summer of the Arts. They're celebrating their 20th for, it's their Friday Night Concert Series and Jazz Fest 2.
Yeah.
And then we have the University of Iowa Division of Performing Arts is performing in honor of their 30th anniversary of their dance gala. So we'll have a pair of dancers coming in.
So dance, theater, chamber music.
And we'll also be celebrating the 100th anniversary of Bruce Moore's Formal Gardens. We'll have a beautiful photo of Bruce Moore's Formal Gardens there as well.
And of course, if you haven't been to Bruce Moore,
oh my goodness,
and just strolled the grounds, the gardens are just gorgeous. And people may not think of a garden or a historical place as a cultural entity. We often think of performance exclusively, but the historical places, the Johnson County Historical Society, all of these places are contributing to that overall. Yeah.
I was doing a presentation last week talking about arts and culture in the community, because many people think of the word culture and they think, museum. We've got about, I think, 9 of those on the ICA website, and they think, performing arts groups, and we've got, 10 10 or 15 or so of those, but then I'm like, we still have 130 organizations that we haven't covered yet.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how much is out there. And that's just ICA partners too. Those that aren't ICA partners, I mean, those are out there as well. We want to be able to make sure that you say, you know what, there's wonderful things happening here.
And you have individual artists and musicians that are members as well.
Yes.
So that's a great advantage to an artist or musician to be able to associate with all these other organizations, sort of be on their radar as a potential collaborator, and then have their events and activities listed on the website.
There are a lot of benefits to being a partner of ICA. The website is, of course, the most visible one, I think, that you see, is because you get to put your events online. And then from those events, when I go out and do radio interviews or when I write articles for the newspapers, I pull directly from the website. So whatever's on there, I take snippets of those and say, hey, this is a list of things that are coming up. We do arts advocacy, so I'll head to Des Moines for Cultural Advocacy Day next month, and to DC as well. We do all different types of things, and so if people are interested, they can definitely contact me and we can talk about that.
And it's an important time for cultural advocacy on the state level with the turnover in government.
Yes.
We have a new governor, which means we have a new head of Department of Cultural Affairs.
We do, just announced, yes.
Yeah.
Mary County will be taking over for Cindy Peterson, who has served us extremely well for the last few years.
So it's good to know that you're going to be heading out there and representing our area and making sure we're on the radar and that we have a voice going forward.
Yes.
So wonderful.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for sitting down with me today. We got a lot talked about,
Yep.
and I just want to invite everyone to go to the Engler Theater and check out the Icky Awards. Everyone's welcome. It's a great overview of all the great cultural activities that are happening in the area. And thank you so much for sitting down with me.
Thank you so much, too.
Community voice.
I you a city is whoop. I you a city is bop bop bop. I you a city is rap bop 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 bop. I you a city is na 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 na.